Hey guys, it's Ben the Coin Geek, and today we're going to talk a little coin theory. We're going to talk about coin cleaning, and it's apparently very controversial. I made a video that shows how to dip a coin because I get that question a lot from collectors, and of course, a lot of people disagree with the position that you should ever dip a coin or ever clean a coin under any circumstance. This coin theory video is a theory. In other words, it's not a fact. Coin fact would be that we have a 70-point grading system in the US on coins, the Sheldon system. Coin theory would be, well, we should have a 100-point or we should have a 10-point system. So we're going to talk about coin grading or coin cleaning. What I want to do is be really as honest as I can with you. Okay, and I think that most dealers and collectors aren't necessarily honest about this subject, because you can say that you should just never clean a coin, and that's the answer that we always give at the coin shop when someone calls or you have a novice. You just tell them, well, you don't clean coins. What does that mean? Okay, so at some point, to one extreme, there is clearly, if you had a piece of dirt or debris on the coin, you blow it off or you rinse it off with water. No harm, no foul, you cleaned the coin. On the other extreme, I think you have people that are artificially toning coins so that they can be sold and they can hide the fact that there's damage on the surface. Or you can do anything that really polishes the surface up and hurts the coin, such as from the recommendations of this old book on cleaning coins and metals. This is actually from 1980, so it's not that old. It does have a lot of scientific information about metallurgy and chemical composition, but it does recommend that you use Brillo pads or pencils, and it also recommends that you lacquer coins. So these are things that I would never recommend doing. Of course, I would never recommend using harsh chemicals or Brillo pads. These are things from a bygone era. So it's pretty easy for us, I think, to look at the two extremes and understand and agree that you don't want a coin that's been polished and looks like a mirror. Nobody likes that, right? Nobody likes a coin that is shiny and unnatural. So the coin cleaning area, where I think we would agree, and the things that I would call negative, I would call them cleaning and I wouldn't call them preservation or conservation, would be anything that alters the surface of the coin in a way that you can tell, right? If you can tell that it alters the luster or it leaves hairlines or things of that nature, you know, it was not a good thing for the coin. And I think that we all agree on that. I think where we disagree is that there are things that you can do to a coin that make them more appealing in the marketplace, and there are lots of times when coins need to be cleaned or need to be preserved or conserved. So as an example, as a collector, you may not run into this, okay? Because as a collector, you can simply look at two coins, one that's very hazy, okay, and one that's nice and original, right? And you can pick. You don't have to make any decision. You just pick the one that looks nice, and you don't need to have the one that is hazy in your collection. But as a dealer, you buy entire collections as is, and you can have really nice coins that have been in the wrong type of housing for years, and they're basically damaged. And then you need to decide, am I going to leave this coin damaged or not? Or am I going to do something to help the coin be resaleable and bring it back into the marketplace, right? So as an example, copper coins, oh, can you see the green stuff on there? Just a little bit, right? Old Lincoln penny there. I'm not cleaning it, I'm putting a Q-tip on the edge so you can see what's all over this coin, right? That green stuff is all over that coin. No collector is going to buy that coin, and they shouldn't. It's, you know, the way it is. If you sent this to NGC or PCGS, it would come back with environmental damage, right, or residue. And so those are things that are not accepted in the marketplace because the coin has a chemical reaction on it and it's ongoing. But you can stop that and you can prevent that from going further. And I think that is where coin preservation comes into play. You might call it coin cleaning. So, but there are things that need to be done to stop a coin from getting worse or getting more damaged. Now, if you have an older collection, or your collection gets too close to fire or water, it's not in a climate controlled area, you can end up with some of your coins with these problems, and then you'll have to make that decision, right? So that's how collectors and dealers are in a little bit different boat. But I think that they'd make a lot of the same decisions if it was up to them, if they had to make the decision. Clearly, I think you want to preserve the coin for long term for other collectors rather than let the environmental damage continue to go on. I also think the marketplace accepts cleaned or preserved coins, in the fact that if you've ever bought a shipwreck coin, this is an 8 real from the El Cazador shipwreck, right? This one's not that expensive, but any coin that comes up from a shipwreck has been preserved or cleaned. So this example is a coin that's not that expensive, but there are coins from the USS Central America that came up, some gold coins that are selling for tens of thousands of dollars, and every one of those has been cleaned, right? They've all been preserved. Now you can make the argument, well, that those are professionally done. Well, okay, so are we going to give somebody authority? No one gave NGC authority over the marketplace. I don't think that authority should be taken from the people and given to like one set of people, right? I think if there are things that you can do as a collector to preserve your coins, then that's okay. Now, having said that, clearly they have some other chemical stuff that I'm not going to get into and I don't do. And we've used NGC's preservations and conservations before, and to some really fantastic outcomes. We had a customer that had a 1916 quarter, and it was black. It was just dark, dark, dark. Now, you couldn't tell if the coin was uncirculated or not. When you looked at it, it looked like it could be uncirculated, but you couldn't see any luster. There's nothing that I could do to bring that coin back to life, right? But we sent it into NGC, and it came back in MS64, blast white. I don't know what chemical treatments they use or do, but the coin was stunning. And the coin was, I use the term, brought back to life, because that's what we all thought. It was like, this coin was brilliant. And it had this stuff on it that you couldn't get off. So I think that the decisions that people make when it comes to coin cleaning and coin preservation, I think that most of us would make a lot of the same turns if we're in the same situations. I just think that lots of times we're in different situations as collectors versus dealers, and the things that we run into. So you may not agree with me on where the line is, but I think that the line for cleaning coins is different than some people in the marketplace say when you say never clean coins or never dip coins. When you look at coins that have damage or have problems, they already have a chemical reaction going on, you're faced with that decision of whether or not you're going to do something that's going to make that coin better in the marketplace and make it preserved for generations to come. Because if you leave some of those chemicals on there, the coin is not going to, it's you're just letting it die, basically. So that is, I don't know if there's like a super controversial topic in coin collecting, but maybe that's it. There's a lot more pressing things in the world to worry about. But having said that, I really appreciate you watching the video. Please comment, subscribe, talk about the things that I've said. It's something that it's important to me that we have honest discussions about these things. When I was growing up in the hobby, it seemed to me like these discussions certainly only happened in behind closed doors, so to speak. They didn't really seem to happen in the open. But I think that it's good for the hobby that we have honest discussions about these things, and people can make up their own mind what's good for coin collecting and what's not good for coin collecting. All right, I'm Ben the Coin Geek. Thanks for watching, and also send me some more suggestions on topics you want covered, and we'd be happy to address them. All right, take care.